Hey guys, welcome to The Life with Z. My name is Z. Happy New Year. 2021 is here. It has been so long, guys, and I really apologize for not being here with you. It has been an incredible last couple of months. Thumbs up if you missed me. Thumbs up on this video if you are well. As you can see from the video today, I'm going to be talking about my dance with COVID. Yeah, let's get into that crazy COVID. Where do I start? I think everything sort of started back just before Christmas, about 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas. So for the longest time, I couldn't really sleep very well. And this was as a result of some of the changes that my body and my mind was going through after having surgery. And so I woke up, there were 2 days where I couldn't really sleep. I felt a bit achy. I felt like the disturbance in my sleep was a result of the medication that I was taking. So I thought, okay, this is all pretty much normal. I also have seasonal asthma, which means that during, Christmas and December times in Lagos with Hamatan and everything, I'm always coughing. Like all of my friends know that there is a time when Zainab is going to be coughing for like 6 months. So I was constantly coughing, and I thought that's what it was. This was my seasonal asthma coming through. And so those 2 nights, I remember coming down and telling my husband that I just couldn't really sleep. It was a really hard night, and I came down and I had some Lemsip, and I felt better, but the cough just lingered. It felt like I was coughing for about 3 to 4 weeks, and it was really intense. I remember getting a call from my friend, and she says, "Hey, I'm gonna go and get tested. I'm not feeling too well." I drove her and went with her, and in solidarity decided, hey, I'm just a quick whim, let me take the test too. I was confident, I was adamant that I did not have COVID. I knew what my symptoms were. I could attach my symptoms. I don't get malaria, so it didn't seem like malaria to me. We did the test. I'm going to be showing you guys some clips and pictures from when we did the test.
Just had some instruments poked into my nose. I mean, they wouldn't let me record, but then they did get away with sneaking a little shot in there. My nose does feel a little runny now, but I guess that's a result of her really getting the bud in there. But I know that I'm COVID free.
The moment I heard that I was positive, I was shocked and still, because I was convinced that I didn't have COVID. Like, guys, when I tell you, I was telling everybody and anybody that this wasn't it. And so I come home, I tell my husband and try and figure out what we need to do and get everybody else in the house tested. And, thankfully everybody was negative, but I had to go immediately into isolation. And this happened 2 days before Christmas. So I found out I was COVID positive 2 days before Christmas. I had to isolate in our spare room, and I was there. The doctor had prescribed some medication for me. I was given ivermectin along with some vitamins. I had zinc, I had selenium, I had vitamin C. The day after I found out I was positive and everybody was getting their test done, I remember getting a shot. So I got a shot of steroids to help with my chest. I'm going to be listing some of the things that I was given to help you guys. And it's very important that you speak to your doctor before you take any of these things, because these are literally based on my own symptoms. So I got the shot and I started taking my vitamins. I started trying to boost my immune. I had my lovely sissy Chigo, who had sent me some immune boosters, some juices that had ginger and lemon and pepper. I started chewing ginger like a crazy person because this cough was really intense. The first couple of days after finding out, I then started having just a slight tightness in my chest. That lasted for a little while. I remember just sleeping being a little bit more difficult. Now that I think about it, a couple of days before, I remember experiencing some other symptoms such as, diarrhea or the muscle aches and the brain heaviness, and the heaviness again is something that I had experienced with my previous medication, so I didn't put it to COVID at all. So I started chewing the ginger, taking all of those boosters, taking all of those things to pretty much help me boost my immune system. I was in my room isolating on Christmas Day. I had, Christmas Day, like we normally have it, was completely different without the family. Our mom and dad pretty much just sent over the care package and everybody had to eat Christmas dinner in their house. I remember, not even being able to really see my family and, having somebody come through with a tray and food and gloves and, disinfecting everywhere around me as I walked, and just, it was different and it was lonely. Being by yourself. I'm a loner, I'm a hermit. I like my own space, right? But it was lonely. My brother had come on holiday and I hadn't seen him. He had been here for like 2 weeks. I was in isolation. That was hard because I hadn't seen him in a year or 2 years or something like that. And having to wave to people from the window, to not be able to just have that human contact. But with all the medication, I'm thankfully my symptoms were very mild, so I didn't have any severe breathing difficulties. Some of the things that the doctor had asked me to do was making sure that I go out and I exercise, which I was doing every single day. And that really helped me. That helped me feel good. Just getting the sun on my face, I don't know what it is. There were a few other things that I noticed that were helpful as well. I didn't have any of the other symptoms like loss of smell or taste. I documented my experience on social media. It was insane, the number of people who were sending me messages and saying, hey, I just found out I'm COVID positive, or I'm about to test. I remember a lady who just gave birth and her newborn tested positive for COVID. I remember, just fathers having to be away from their kids, or just really sad and intense stories. And it was nice to just have a bit of a community of people to be able to share that with. I know that it was a lonely experience for a lot of people. I did get some silly comments. Let me just say something to the COVID idiots, yeah? COVID is real. It is very real. It is not malaria. It is not a scam. It is, yes, it's definitely become commercial. Yes, there's some people who are profiting off of COVID, but let me tell you something. It is 1,000% real. I don't get malaria. I've had malaria like maybe 2 or 3 times in my life. What I felt, what I went through was definitely not malaria. I just want people to be respectful. I want people to not encourage other people to just be lax. Like, I remember getting invitations for events and premieres and things where it was gonna be, 100 people, 200 people. And I would just be thinking, you guys are actually really taking the piss. I would look at some people and they'll just be so irresponsible. And I was somebody who took COVID very seriously. Whenever we went shopping in the house, we would disinfect everything. We would wipe everything down. We would have our mask all the time. Like, I didn't care. If I went somewhere and I had my mask on and you were looking at me like I was stupid, I didn't care. I was one of those people who was like, I'm gonna take this thing dead serious and I'm not gonna play any games with it. So finding out that I had it was a shock. I'm just grateful that I had a great team of people, so much support from family, friends. I actually did the test that we did was at the FMC at the Federal Medical Center in Yaba in Lagos. I remember going there, filling out the forms. It was pretty easy. You fill out a physical form and an online form, and then they do the test. So the test itself, people ask me all the time, how does it feel? And I'm like, hey, it's, my tolerance is not bad, but it's uncomfortable. I've now done the test 3 times. Having somebody shove something in your nose is special. You will definitely tear up as a result of that, but it's over pretty quickly, so you don't have to worry about it. The 3 times that I had it done, it was tolerable for me, and I was able to get my results back within a day, or I think the longest one took about 2 days. But the Dr. D, he's absolutely amazing. He was constantly checking up on me. He would send me articles, videos. I remember he, had me checking my sputum and my mucus because of the chest infection and the coughing. It was a little bit rusty and green. he then put me on a course of antibiotics, Zithirax, I can't remember what it's called, but I'm going to put it down. And that really helped to clear up my chest. I still have a bit of a lingering dry cough, but he says, try and ignore it. It's gonna push itself out and you're gonna be fine. So he was just absolutely amazing. Obviously, I had my Instagram doctors who are always sending me things to do, but with any type of advice like this, you guys always need to make sure that you check what it is that your doctor says about it. The other thing was that I was able to do was steaming. So steaming was very important. It really helped to clear up my chest as well. And the last thing that I want to touch on is people's response to you when you have COVID. This should definitely be an entire video by itself, but I'm not going to go there. I remember a level of disdain that came with people's response. Some people were extremely negative, right? Some people were, and I get it. It's important to think about yourself in these circumstances. You find out somebody has COVID and the first thing you do is, hey, have I been around them? Fair enough. But when you have not been around that person, yeah, you need to keep quiet. I had too many people who, rather than the first thing or the second thing that you say is, hey, how are you doing? How are you coping? It's, but I saw you last week at the petrol station and I waved at you. Yeah, you waved at me at the petrol station. I was in my car, you were in your car. There were no droplets. Yeah? So you don't have COVID. Sometimes common sense, not even sometimes, it's free. It's free. So when some people here, they just automatically feel like you've got to put yourself in this condition and you've got to put yourself in these circumstances that now, makes it very dangerous for them. And it's like, dude, sometimes that's not what it's like. Some of us did not go outside and say, hey, COVID, holla at me. No. Some of us were just minding our business and we caught it. So I really want to encourage you guys that when you do come face to face with somebody who has experienced this, if you are caring for somebody who has experienced this, you need to have all the love, all the empathy, all the patience. You just need to be able to give just a little bit, right? That's all. When somebody's going through this and they feel so lonely and they feel so helpless and they're afraid and they don't know, whether or not their symptoms are going to get worse, they're going to get better. The last thing they need from you is you pointing the finger at them and making them feel like trash. I remember a friend of mine, who I had some ginger tea. Now this situation happened when, I had my second test, which revealed that my levels, the virus levels, were very, very faint. But the doctor said, they needed to record it for, just standard purposes, and we would do another test. So my friend had asked me for this ginger tea that I was taking, and I sent it to her. And I remember somebody else who knew her saying to her, oh, how can you collect something from somebody who has COVID? The package was disinfected 2 or 3 times. But people felt the need to say, it is very irresponsible of you to collect things from people who have COVID. How do you know, what she has done with it? How do you know if she has sneezed on it or coughed on it? Ma'am, I'm not stupid. I'm not. So it is important. The bottom line of what I want to say is just don't be insensitive. Don't be insensitive. Yeah? Because this is a very serious issue. People are going through it mentally, emotionally. There's some people who are coming out of COVID with anxiety, who are coming out of COVID with chronic issues. So if you feel like you have malaria or the flu or a cold, anything, guys, do not be like me and think and assume that it's something completely different. Go ahead and get tested. Get tested at some of the state hospitals. You can go to the Yaba FMC at the railway compound in Yaba here in Lagos. You can get it done privately. To do it at Yaba, I believe it's about 5 to 10K or something like that. To go private is about 50K. But it is important. You have a responsibility to yourself. You have a responsibility to those you love, to your parents, to the elderly people around you, to those who may have diabetes or underlying conditions. You owe it to people to keep them safe and to keep yourself safe. I've now had my 3rd test, which, glory be to God, is negative. I am negative. I'm, whew, Lord, okay. I needed it to be negative. I've been in isolation for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. It seems like forever. I spent New Year's Day in my room by myself. I was ready for it to be negative. Good thing was being in isolation really helped me figure out my plans, figure out my year, connect with God, and I'm forever grateful. And I just want to thank everybody who sent me a message, everybody who looked out for me, everybody who called. Peace and love to all of you. Thank you so much. So yeah, if you have any questions for me, please drop them in the comment box. Make sure you share this. Make sure you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, we are waiting for you. 2021 is not the year to watch on the sidelines. It's the year to watch inside. Yeah, so I'm going to see you guys another time. Peace, love, and all the above.